Even for me? Done. One, two. A very wonderful time. We have come again to the Leadership Room. This is a program that we host every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Myself and also co-hosted by the Nairobi Pentecostal Bible College. Today I am talking about you must grow yourself, or you must know yourself to grow yourself. This is influenced by the reading of the book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell, that I am currently reading. And we are focusing on the power of self-awareness, the power of direction, the power of passion and purpose. And as you look at this opening image, you see a boardroom, a city, a table, and an atmosphere of leadership. That is intentional. Leadership is not just what happens when people are watching you on a platform. Leadership is what happens when you sit with yourself, when you examine your heart, when you evaluate your direction, and when you decide what kind of person you are becoming. Therefore, our subtitle is the power of self-awareness, direction, passion, and purpose. This is one of the most important truths in leadership, personal development, ministry, business, career, family life, and destiny fulfillment. A person who does not know himself cannot grow himself properly. So we are talking about not just leadership skills, we are talking about leadership identity. We are talking about direction. We are talking about purpose. We are talking about the inner life of the leader. Well, so tonight we go deeper. We are not here to merely collect information. We are here to confront the kind of questions that can change the direction of life. A leader who does not understand his strengths, weaknesses, passions, values, his limitations, his opportunities, and assignment will keep moving but may not be moving in the right direction. Many people are working hard, but they are not working in the area of their purpose. So tonight I want us to reflect deeply, not just on what we are doing, not just on where we are going, but on who we are becoming, because growth begins with awareness. And awareness begins with honest examination. Let us talk about a person who does not know himself. And look at the image on the screen. Open hearts. Hearts can receive. Hearts can release. Hearts can build. Hearts can serve. But hearts can also remain empty if the person carrying them has no clarity. A person who does not know himself cannot grow himself properly. That is not a statement to condemn anybody. It is a statement to awaken us, You cannot develop what you have not defined. You cannot strengthen what you have not identified. You cannot correct what you refuse to confront. And you cannot steward a gift you do not understand. So before we talk about ambition, before we talk about influence, before we talk about success, we must talk about awareness. And one of the key points in this discussion is that many times we find ourselves active but not aligned. Active but not aligned. Busy but not becoming. And that is one of the greatest challenges of our generation. We can fill our corridors and still have empty direction. We can attend meetings and still avoid meaning. We can be surrounded by activity and still be disconnected from assignment. The compass on the screen reminds us that speed is not enough. A compass does not tell you whether you are moving in the right direction. And this is actually, a compass tells you whether you are moving in the right direction. That's what I meant. And that is what self-awareness does. Self-awareness asks the question, am I aligned to my values? Am I aligned with my purpose? Am I aligned with my season? Am I aligned with what God has placed in me? So it's not just what we are doing, it's about who we are becoming. This image shows a person standing before a wide landscape. It feels like a moment of decision. You can see the different ways that are before him. And that is where some of us are. We need to stop and ask, who am I becoming? Because leadership is not only measured by what you produce. Leadership is measured. It's not measured by what you produce. It's measured by what you are becoming. Measured by what you are becoming. And before we continue, I would want us to have a brief moment to hear about what Nairobi Pentecostal Bible College is doing to keep training leaders for the effectiveness. Beyond titles, beyond applause, beyond activity, we want to ask the deeper question. Is the person I am becoming strong enough, clear enough, humble enough, and disciplined enough for the assignment that we want? Let us hear from Nairobi Pentecostal Bible College, a college that is training ministers in many parts of the world, and for which I am privileged to be a leader. Thank you. I want to introduce you to a very important opportunity. Is this the year when you are trusting and seeking God to be trained, to be empowered to serve God in your various ministry callings? Nairobi Pentecostal Bible College has created programs that will enable you to become more effective in your ministry. This year, the Diploma in Christian Ministry and the Diploma in Bible and Theology have been curated for you so that you can be trained and become better for ministry. We are offering half scholarship for all new applicants. And so follow the link below and speak to us and let us see how you can be trained and become better. Here at Nairobi Pentecostal Bible College, we exist to nurture your potential and build your character. God bless you.
Are you a church leader, ministry executive, or faith-based organization administrator looking to strengthen and sustain your ministerial impact? Join our resource mobilization for Christian ministries courses designed exclusively for executives and ministry leadership teams. Over 6 powerful weeks, you'll gain practical skills in resource management, assessment and mapping, resource mobilization strategies, overcoming challenges, sustainability measures, and proposal writing for donor funding. This training is designed to equip Christian leaders with effective tools for ministry growth, sustainability, and greater kingdom impact. Starting on 15 June, register with us today with only an investment fee of only 2,000 Kenya shillings per session. Book with us or register yourselves on the numbers below.
All right. So leadership is not just about what we are doing. It's also about what we are becoming. The next thing I want to say is that you've got to be sincere in dealing with yourself. I read a quote about a man by the name James Lowell, who once said, "No one can produce great things who is not thoroughly sincere in dealing with himself." That means greatness requires honesty. You cannot deceive yourself and still develop yourself. You cannot ignore yourself and still improve yourself. You cannot learn away from yourself and still rise into your potential. The mirror on the screen is important. Many people look into the mirror to inspect appearance. But I want us to use the mirror of truth to inspect direction. What is true about me? What is strong in me? What is weak in me? What is unfinished in me? What am I avoiding? What have I been pretending not to know? Sincerity with yourself is not weakness. It is the beginning of wisdom. The next thing I want to say is that it's a question that I want to ask yourself. It's a question, do you really know yourself? Do you know your strength, your weaknesses? Do you know what energizes you? Do you know what drains you? Do you know what you're called to do? Do you know what you must stop doing? Do you know what kind of environment helps you grow? Do you know what kind of people help you become better? And most importantly, do you know where you are going? These are not casual questions. They are leadership questions. They are destiny questions. They are stewardship questions, because if you do not know who you are, someone else will define you. And if you do not know where you are going, guess what? Distraction is also going to lead you every day of your life. Why is it that we are talking about self-knowledge? Self-knowledge matters because leadership begins with self-leadership, and self-leadership begins with self-awareness. You cannot lead others well if you have not learned how to lead yourself. You cannot grow intentionally if you don't know your current position. In this city image, if you go back to that city image, you see lights, you see roads, you see possible pathways. That is life. There are many roads, there are many opportunities, there are many directions you could take. But the first question is not which road is the fastest. The first question is, where am I? And where am I meant to go? So leadership begins with self-leadership. And self-leadership begins with self-awareness. Before you lead a board, lead yourself. Before you lead a ministry, lead yourself. Before you lead a family, lead yourself. Before you lead a company, lead yourself. Before you lead a movement, lead yourself. Self-leadership means I know how to govern my emotions. I know how to examine my motives. I know how to manage my time. I know how to identify my growth needs. I know when I need counsel. I know when I need discipline. I know when I need to stop. I know when I need to reflect. I know when I need to realign. A leader who cannot lead himself will eventually become dangerous to the people that he is trying to lead. And so I am saying to somebody, knowing yourself is like looking at a map and seeing the words, you are here. Before you move, you must know where you stand. Look at that. These words are very important because before you can move to where you want to go, you must first know where you are. If you do not know where you are, even a good road can take you nowhere. If you don't know where you are, even speed can become dangerous. If you don't know where you are, you may confuse movement with progress. So every leader must ask, where am I now? Where have I come from? Where am I going? What must I learn? What must I unlearn? What must I improve? What must I stop? These are very, very important questions. Where am I now? What must I learn? What must I stop? What must I start? Very important things. Because speed without direction is not progress, it is danger. That is powerful. Because we often celebrate speed, we often celebrate how fast someone moved, how quickly they grew, how many things they are doing. But speed without direction can multiply mistakes. Speed without awareness can carry you deeper into the long assignment. Speed without reflection can make you successful in something that was never yours to carry. So you might end up climbing the mountains, and when you get to the top of the mountain, you discover that you are climbing the wrong mountain, and yet you have spent the time, the effort, the money, and everything required only to find that you are in the wrong mountain. So I'm not only asking, are you moving? I'm asking you, are you moving in the direction of your purpose? Are you moving to become what your assignment requires? Are you running with clarity? Or are you just escaping stillness? Where are you going? So every leader must ask 3 of these questions. Where am I now? What must I learn? What must I stop? What must I start? Personal growth, John Maxwell says, is not automatic. You do not grow simply because years are passing. You do not grow simply because you are busy. You do not grow simply because you hold a title. You do not grow because of anything else. You grow because you become intentional, you become aware, you become honest, and you take responsibility. And responsibility begins when you stop blaming your environment for what you have refused to examine in yourself. So this is what I mean. You grow because you become intentional, not because years are passing. Look at the tree on the screen. The strength of this tree is not only in the branches, its strength is in the roots. Many people want visible fruit without invisible discipline. They want public impact without private growth. They want branches, but they neglect roots. But you grow because you become intentional, not because years are passing. The tragedy of many readers is not that they lack potential. The tragedy is that they lack direction. They have gifts but no clarity. They have energy but they have no focus. They have opportunities but no strategy. They have desire but they have no discipline. And so they drift. So, what am I asking you to do? I'm asking you to know yourself. You cannot drift into destiny. You cannot drift into destiny. You cannot wander into greatness. You cannot accidentally become the person God created you to be. A boat, look at the image. I like using images when I'm talking to you. A boat that is drifting may still be moving, but it is not choosing. It's being carried by pressure, being carried by threads, being carried by other people's expectations, being carried by fear can be your description. But destiny requires intentional direction. If you want to grow, you must know yourself. If you want to become, you must stop drifting. If you want to fulfill purpose, you must choose growth on purpose. That is why I also want to talk about 3 types of people in life. These 3 types of people in life, when it comes to direction, there are 3 kinds of people identified in chapter 2 of the book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, which is influencing our discussion tonight by John C. Maxwell, my friend. This image of doors is important. Every person is standing before choices. Every person must decide whether they will remain confused, remain frustrated, or move into fulfillment. The first group are people who do not know what they would like to do. Maybe you are there. You are in that first group. People who do not know what they would like to do. They are confused, talented, scattered, no clear direction. The second group are people who know what they would like to do, but they do not do it. They know this is what I want to do, but they don't do it. The third group are people who know what, actually the group 2 are the frustrated lot. They know but they do not move. They are frustrated. The third group are people who know what they would like to do and they do it. So as we think about these 3 groups, do not think about other people first. Think about yourself. Which group are you in? Group 1, the confused. This group 1, these are people who do not know what they would like to do. These people are often confused. They lack a strong sense of purpose. They are alive, but they are not clear. They wake up, they work, they eat, they sleep, and repeat the cycle, but they do not know what they are building. They are easily distracted. They try many things but master none. They move from idea to idea, from opportunity to opportunity, from excitement to excitement, but they never settle into a focused path of growth. They may be talented, but they are scattered. They may be gifted, but they are unfocused. They may be hardworking, but their work is not connected to a clear destination. So if that describes you, maybe you need to think about what you need to do. The group 2 is what we call the frustrated. These are people who know what they would like to do, but they do not do it. These people are frustrated. They can see the future, but they are not working towards it. They know what they desire, but they are held back, either by fear, excuses, or comfort, or responsibilities, or lack of courage, or unwillingness to pay the price. They know enough to be uncomfortable, but they are not courageous enough to change. They know where they want to go, but they keep postponing the journey, and that is painful. Because to have vision without movement creates an inner tension. To have desire without decision creates frustration. To have potential without obedience creates a lot of regrets. So, listen to me. One day I will start. If somebody is saying, one day I will start. One day I will write the book. One day I will build the business. One day I will go back to school. One day I will answer the call. One day I will launch the program. One day I will develop myself. Those one day never become day one. Years pass, but one day never becomes day one. Hear me. Someday is not a strategy. Someday is often the language of delay. So if we keep postponing growth, you are not preserving your future. You are quietly speeding it. So the question is not, do I have a dream? The question is, have I chosen a disciplined step? Let me go to group 3. Group 3 are the people who are called the fulfilled. These are people who know what they would like to do and they do it. They are fulfilled people. They know themselves. They know their purpose. They know their assignment. They grow in the areas that support their calling. They do not waste their lives trying to become everybody else. They focus on becoming the best version of the person they were created to be. These are people who live with direction. They live with energy. They live with focus. They live with fulfillment. Yes, they are not perfect, but they are aligned. So the question that I am asking you tonight is this: which group are you in? Are you confused? Are you frustrated? Or are you fulfilled? Are you drifting? Are you delaying? Or are you developing? Are you guessing? Are you postponing? Or are you pursuing? Do not answer quickly. Sometimes the most powerful growth movement is when we tell ourselves the truth. If you are confused, clarity can begin. If you are frustrated, courage can begin. If you are fulfilled, deeper stewardship can begin. Let me talk about the challenge of our age. The challenge of our age. We live in a very noisy age. There are many voices, many opportunities, many distractions, many platforms. We have many opinions, we have many pressures, we have many threads, we have many comparisons. The image of the screen captures the environment many people live in every day. Information is everywhere. Notifications, you can see them there. They are everywhere. Opinions are everywhere. Wisdom is not automatic. Direction is not automatic. Purpose is not automatic. In fact, in our age, you might find that it is very easy to be overwhelmed by the many things that we are experiencing every day. It is possible to be busy all day, but still not be growing. A person can be busy and still not be productive. You can consume information every day and still not grow. You can scroll for hours and still have no direction. You can attend meetings, conferences, seminars, webinars, and still not become intentional. The issue is not lack of activity. The issue is lack of thoughtful purpose. Some people are exhausted, not because they are carrying purpose, but because they are carrying everything. They are tired because they never selected a focus. They are drained because every demand becomes an assignment. They are overwhelmed because they confused availability with obedience. Great leaders learn to discern. Great leaders know what to do. Much movement, little direction. Much excitement, little clarity. Much noise, little vision. That is a description of a leader who is not self-aware. Noise becomes a master. Every urgent thing looks important. Every opportunity looks necessary. Every opinion sounds authoritative. Every trend feels like destiny. But a self-aware reader can pause and say, they may be good, but is it mine? That may be urgent, but is it aligned? That may be popular, but is it purposeful? That may impress people, but will it grow me in the direction of my assignment? So a leader must pause and ask, who am I? What am I called to do? What season am I in? What must I focus on now? What kind of growth is required for my next level? Because not every good thing belongs to this season. Not every door is your door. Not every invitation deserves your yes. Not every battle deserves your energy. A reader must understand season, because season determines focus. Focus determines growth, and growth determines capacity, and capacity determines what you can carry without collapsing. So every new level, listen to this, every new level requires a new version of you. The person you are today may have brought you this far, but the person you are today may not be enough to take you into your next assignment. So growth is not optional. Growth is a responsibility. Growth is stewardship. Growth is obedience to potential. Growth is how you honor the gifts God has placed in you. If you ask for a bigger assignment, you must accept deeper preparation. If you ask for greater influence, you must accept greater discipline. If you ask for wider impact, you must accept more honest self-examination, because new levels do not only require new opportunities, they require a new you. Let me talk about the paradox of growth. The paradox of growth. This is one of the greatest paradoxes of growth. You must know who you are in order to grow. But you must also grow in order to discover who you are. That means you cannot wait until you understand everything before you begin. Some people are waiting for perfect clarity. They are waiting for every detail to make sense. They are waiting until fear disappears. They are waiting until full map is visible. But life rarely gives you the full map before obedience. Many times clarity increases as you move. Chris Robinson of Maxwell team says, get out of the house. So you've got to get out of the house. Don't wait until everything is perfect. Begin with the right you have. Begin with the passion you sense. Begin with the burden you carry. Begin with the opportunity before you. Begin with the area where people already see grace in your life. Begin where your gift, your passion, your opportunity and responsibility are meeting. That little seedling on the screen does not yet look like a forest, but it is alive. And because it is alive, it can grow. So do not despise the small beginning. Do not reject the first light because it is not the whole sunrise. Start with what is clear, and then clarity will increase as you walk. You discover yourself by moving intentionally. So as you grow, you will understand yourself better. As you serve, you will discover your strength. As you learn, you will discover your capacity. As you read, you will discover your influence. As you keep trying, you will discover what fits and what does not fit. You do not discover yourself by sitting idle. You discover yourself by moving intentionally, by trying responsibly, by learning continuously, by reflecting honestly. So do not wait for perfect clarity before you start growing. Start growing, and that clarity will increase. Start growing, and clarity will increase. The lantern is a beautiful image. A lantern may not light the whole road. Here it's put on the road, but it gives enough light for the next step. This is so powerful. Some of you do not need a new revelation. You need to obey the right you already have. You already know the habit you must begin. You already know the conversation you must have. You already know the weakness you must address. You already know the gift you must develop. You already know the distraction you must stop feeding. Start growing. And as you grow, like that lantern, the Lord will become clearer because the step that you have, the step that you're stepping on at the moment, you're already sure about it. Finding your passion and purpose is very, very, very critical. Let me give you key questions that can help you find your passion and purpose. These questions are not to be answered casually. They are meant to be carried, written, prayed over, reflected on, and discussed with wise people. The doorway on the screen is important. Purpose often feels like standing at a door. You can sense that there is more. You can sense that there is a next room. But you must be willing to ask the questions that prepare you to enter. So let us walk through these questions together. And you can see some of these questions here. What excites me? What are my strengths? What impact do I want to make? What does success mean to me? What makes me lose track of time? What kind of life do I want to live? This is a person standing at the door of passion, finding their purpose, finding their destiny. There is a connection between finding your purpose and your passion and fulfilling your dream and your destiny. Question number 1. These questions are questions that are asked in the second chapter of John C. Maxwell's book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. I want to encourage you to buy that book. It's a very powerful book. I'm currently reading that book. And some of the questions that John Maxwell asks, he asks, question number 1, do I like what I am doing now? That's the first question. Very important question. Some people spend their lives doing what they do not enjoy, what they are not gifted for, and what does not connect with their purpose. Of course, there are seasons where we must do what is necessary. There are seasons when we must work to survive. There are seasons where responsibility requires sacrifice, but survival should not become a permanent hiding place from purpose. If you don't like what you are doing, ask yourself why. Is it because the work is difficult? Is it because you are in the wrong environment? Is it because you are not using your gift? Is it because you are afraid to transition? Is it because you have settled for security instead of significance? This question is not asking you to resign tomorrow. It is asking you to reflect honestly. Asking you to reflect honestly. Do you like what you are doing now? Do you have the passion for it? You know what passion says? Passion says, I was born for this. And that's where we get to the second question. What would I like to do? But before I get to the second question, this is what I want to say. That if you don't like what you're doing now, one of the ways you can deal with that is by quitting. You leave, but don't leave without knowing where you are going. Many people want to leave, but they don't know where they are going. So before you leave, before you quit, identify the next point. Where am I going? What do I want to achieve? Don't just say, I just want to leave. There was a time my wife was very tired and she had a very active day and she wanted to just relax. And so she said to me, I want to leave this environment. And I asked her, where do you want to go? She said, I don't even know where I want to go. I just want to leave this environment and just go. That's a risky way of looking at it in life. It can happen when you want a little rest and drive out and enjoy the air and go to the, nearest shops and, breathe fresh air. But you see, when it comes to life, when life is in session, like what John C. Maxwell asks, life is in session, are you ready? So when life is in session, then you have to be very careful the decisions that you make. So the second question is, what would I like to do? There is a connection between passion and potential. When you discover what you love and what you are gifted to do, energy is released. Passion is the one that gives you energy. Passion is the one that produces excellence. That image up there is the image of the fire that is burning. Passion. Passion is the one that makes the sacrifice easier. Passion is the one that gives you stamina. A person that has passion will go further than a person with mere interest. In fact, interest says, I like this. But passion says, I was born for this. Interest will only get excited when things are easy. But passion is the one that keeps you moving even when things are difficult. Interest will just follow when things are convenient. Passion follows conviction. So the question that I'm asking you is, what work makes you feel alive? What do I love doing is the second question. What problem do I feel called to solve? What kind of work makes me feel alive? What burden keeps coming back to my heart? What do people ask me to help them with? What do I naturally do that blesses others? Sometimes your passion is not just what excites you. Sometimes it is a problem you cannot ignore. Sometimes it is a pain you want to heal. Sometimes it's the people you cannot stop thinking about. Pay attention to what repeatedly pulls your heart towards contribution. Recently, I've been burdened a lot with the subject of leadership. Especially, obviously, I've been committed to leadership, but from 2026, the burden has become more. It's become something that I cannot drop. And that's why I've focused on developing leaders wherever they may be found and building their capacity to take the responsibilities that they have. And I believe this is going to define what I am going to do, perhaps for the next of life. So the question I'm asking you is, can you do what you like to do? That's the third question. Can I do what I would like to do? This question is a question that introduces realism. Not every desire is an assignment. Not every interest is a calling. Not every dream matches your gift. A wise leader must know the difference between fantasy and purpose. Purpose is usually connected to your gifts, your values, your experience, your opportunities, and your capacity to grow. So you've got to ask questions like, what am I good at? What can I become good at if I develop? What do others recognize in me? Where have I produced fruit before? What opportunities are available to me? What preparation do I need? So self-awareness will protect you from wasting your life trying to display qualities that you do not possess. You do not need to become everybody. You need to become yourself fully. Why do you want what you say you want? Why do I want it? Motives matter. It is not enough to know what you want. You must know why. Do you want to do what you want to do for service or for status? Do you want to do it because you want impact or applause? Do you want to do it because it will give a contribution or because it's going to be a ground for competition? Do you want it because it is your calling or because you are comparing yourself with someone else? A leader can have the right assignment and still damage people with the wrong motive. So do not only examine your dream, but you must also examine your heart. Why am I doing it? The right motives. Let me talk about the right motives. Right motives give inner strength. Right motives sustain you when things are hard. Right motives keep your relationships clean. Right motives protect you from manipulation. Right motives help you sleep well at night. A leader must look inside because your vision becomes clearer when your heart becomes clearer. If you look at that image, the image there, the hands there are forming the image of the heart. And he's asking, what my hands are doing, does it reflect what my heart intention is? If your motive is applause, criticism will destroy you. If your motive is competition, comparison will drain you. If your motive is service, then sacrifice will make sense. If your motive is obedience, delay will not make you quit. So ask yourself the question of motive. Why do I want what I say I want? Let us now move from awareness to action as we begin to conclude. Knowing yourself is important, but knowing yourself is not enough. After awareness, there must be movement. Look at that runner. A runner can know the track. He can know the distance. He can know the rules. He can even know the finishing line. But at some point, the runner must move. If he stays there where he is right now, he may not achieve the championship he desires. Let me give you 4 steps. These steps are simple, but if you practice them, they can change the direction of your growth. Again, taken from the book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell, chapter 2. It talks about these 4 steps. Step number 1, awareness. Step number 2, action. Step number 3, accountability. And step number 4, attraction. Let's look at step number 1, awareness. Awareness means I know where I am. I know what is working and what is not working. I know what I must change and what I must develop. I know what choices are taking me closer to my purpose, and I know what choices are taking me away from my purpose. Without awareness, change is impossible. You cannot change a direction you have not examined. You cannot correct a pattern that you refuse to name. You cannot grow through a weakness that you keep defending all the time. Awareness is the courage to say, this is where I am, and this is what must change. Step number 2 is action. You cannot win if you do not begin. Many people are waiting to feel ready, but readiness often comes after beginning, not before beginning. You do not become ready by waiting. Do not become ready by just wishing. You become ready by starting. So start small. Start today. Start with what you have. Start where you are. Start with 1 page if you are writing a book. Start with 1 call if you want to reach out to someone who can help you. Start with 1 class if you want to go back to school. Start with 1 plan. Start with 1 disciplined step. Leadership growth is built by daily action. It is not built by occasional excitement. It is not built by emotional declarations. It's not built by motivational movements or daily action. One of my friends, Robin Sharma, says that it is a small, consistent daily steps that eventually become a movement. So it is not one great day. For example, one cannot say that they are going to work out in 1 day and they work out every day. No. 1 day is not enough to give you the workout that will make your body better. 1 good diet does not give you the health. It is a consistent daily action. Step number 3, accountability. Accountability helps you follow through. Private goals are easy to abandon. But when you make a commitment and allow the right people to ask you about your progress, you increase your chances of growth. So what are we saying? Write your goals, track your habits, review your progress, make it public, ask someone to check on you. Measure what matters, because it is what is measured that is managed. If you want to grow financially, track your money. If you want to grow spiritually, track your devotional discipline. If you want to grow intellectually, track your reading. If you want to grow physically, track your health habits. If you want to grow as a reader, then you got to track your decisions, track your conversations, track your learning, and track your results. Many times when I'm starting something new or I've engaged in something, I tell my key friends and I tell them I have embarked on this so that they can keep me accountable. Sometimes I have found that when you announce it to the inner circle, did you hear me? The inner circle, your inner circle. That announcement can give you the opportunity not to fail. Because you always say, because I announced it, I have to do my best to ensure that it happens. Step number 4, attraction. When you begin to grow, you begin to attract growing people. I love this one. I love this one. Who you are becoming determines who you attract. If you are careless, you attract careless people. If you are disciplined, you attract disciplined people. If you are growing, you attract growing people. If you are purposeful, you attract purposeful people. And this is why your growth is not only personal. Your growth affects your circle. Your growth affects your family. Your growth affects your ministry. Your growth affects your organization. Your growth affects your future. Listen to me. Your growth affects your entire circle. When you become better, you attract better conversations, better mentors, better opportunities, better relationships. But more than that, you become a better influence in the relationships you already have. A growing parent changes a home. A growing leader changes a team. A growing pastor changes a congregation. A growing entrepreneur will change their company. A growing teacher changes their classroom. A growing person becomes a ripple. So your growth does not end with you. It moves outward. Let me talk about the role of mentors. No leader grows alone. You need people ahead of you. You need models. You need mentors. You need people who can show you the way. Some mentors will meet you personally. Some will mentor you through books. Some will mentor you through sermons, lectures, courses, podcasts, platforms. But you must be intentional about learning from people who are already doing what you desire to do with excellence. A wise leader is not too proud to learn. A wise leader knows that teachability accelerates growth. I learn about leadership every day. I learn about many things every day. I am not perfect. I'm still learning and I don't know everything. But I have mentors that continue to mentor me through books, through courses, through observations, through biographies. All of us are in this journey together. No leader grows alone. This library image reminds us that mentorship is not only personal access. Sometimes a mentor is in a book. Sometimes a mentor is in a biography. Yeah, I have not personally met John Maxwell, But I have been mentored a lot by John C. Maxwell books for over 15 to 20 years. And so sometimes a mentor can be in a biography, in a course, a sermon, a lecture, a podcast, a conversation that you're listening to carefully. Some of you who have followed this leadership room for the last 10 weeks that we've been coming here every Wednesday have learned a lot. They are being mentored. Do not complain that you have no mentors if you are not leading. Do not complain that nobody is investing in you if you have not become intentional with the wisdom already available to you. A person who is hungry can be mentored from many places. But a proud person can sit with a great mentor but still remain unchanged because they have not given themselves to that process of mentorship. A mentor helps you become. A mentor's role is not to make you become someone else. A mentor's role is to help you become more of who you were created to be. The right mentor helps you understand your strengths, your temperaments, your passion, your choices, your opportunities, your game plan, your areas of improvement. But remember this, not everyone who can help you is assigned to help you. Got to choose carefully. Be teachable, be honorable, be consistent, be grateful, but then also be accountable. Apply what you learn. When approaching mentors, be prepared. Don't waste their time. Ask good questions. Listen carefully. Apply what you learn. Return with evidence of growth. A good mentee does not just correct advice. A good mentee applies advice. A good mentee can say, this is what I asked. This is what you told me. This is what I did. This is what I learned. Now may I ask the next question? And this is a kind of attitude that encourages the mentor to further invest in you. Mentors are more willing to pour into people who do something with what they receive. Now, the price. Let me talk about the price. The price of purpose. Let's be honest. Doing what you were created to do will cost you. Purpose is beautiful, but it's not cheap. Growth has a price. Excellence has a price. Leadership has a price. Influence has a price. Destiny has a price. Let's go back to the mountain on the screen. The mountain on the screen reminds us that elevation requires effort. You do not, listen to me very carefully, you do not arrive at higher places by wishing. You climb, you train, you endure, you keep going when the path is steep, like you can see here. Fruit is not farming. Many people admire success, but they avoid the sacrifice. They want the fruit, but not the farming. They want the crown, but not the cross. They want the platform, but not the preparation. They want the result, but not the responsibility. But listen to me. Anything worth doing will demand something from you. You may have to sacrifice. Sacrifice comfort. Sacrifice laziness. Sacrifice excuses. Sacrifice some relationships. Sacrifice entertainment. Sacrifice sleep. Sacrifice immediate pleasure for long-term impact. So the question that I'm asking you is, what are you being called to sacrifice? Are you willing to pay the price for the life that you say you want? Are you willing to grow? Are you willing to run? Are you willing to start? Are you willing to change? Are you willing to be corrected? Are you willing to be stretched? Are you willing to be disciplined? If the answer is yes, then you are ready for growth. But if the answer is no, be honest enough to say it, because a dream without willingness is only imagination. A purpose without sacrifice is only talk. A vision without discipline becomes frustration. So the question is, are you willing? Are you willing to pay the price? Before we go for a short break and conclude, let's talk about starting. Start now. One of the greatest enemies of purpose is the word someday. Someday I will start. Someday I will study. Someday I will read. Someday I will build. Someday I will change. Someday I will obey. But great leaders understand that delay has a cost. It spends time, it spends opportunity, it spends energy, it spends confidence. So that country, that city that is called someday, someday is not a date on the calendar. Listen to that. Someday is not a date on the calendar. Someday is often the language of delay. So the best time to begin is now. Not when everything is perfect. Not when all the money is available. Not when every door is open. Not when everybody believes in you. Not when you feel completely ready. You start now. There are certain things that we build when the plane is in the air. And we trust that by the grace of God, at least you will ride safely. You may not be ready, but starting is part of becoming ready. Nobody becomes ready by waiting forever. You become ready by taking responsible steps of faith. So I'm challenging you. Identify one step, just one. Not 10 steps, one step. One step. One phone call, one application, one conversation, one book, one course, one proposal, one apology, one decision, one commitment, one action that moves you closer to the person that you're supposed to become. So start there in that one step. Start now. Don't wait until the path is impressive. You got to honor that first step. Now, what happens when you do what you were created to do? And this is where we stop tonight. When you finally begin to do what you are created to do, three things happen. First, it may be different from what you imagined. It may be harder than imagined. It will be better than imagined. Purpose does not always look the way you expected. Sometimes the door opens differently. Sometimes the platform is smaller at first. Sometimes the process is slower. Sometimes the assignment grows in ways you did not anticipate. You got to remain flexible. Do not reject purpose because it arrived wearing work clothes instead of ceremony clothes. This is what I believe. It may be difficult than you imagined. Purpose does not remove pressure. Sometimes your purpose increases responsibility. When you carry a meaningful assignment, people will expect more from you. Your time will be demanded. Your energy will be stretched. Your discipline will be tested. Your motives will be examined. But third, it will be better than you imagined. There is joy in doing what you are created to do. There is fulfillment in walking in your assignment. There is peace in knowing that your life is aligned. There is power in using your gift to serve others. There is that deep satisfaction that comes in becoming the person God designed you to become. It is said, someone said, there are two great days in a person's life: the day you are born and the day you discover why. My prayer is that you will not only live because you are born, you will live because you have discovered why. You will not only occupy space, but you will fulfill assignment. You will not only survive the seasons, but you will steward them. You will not only be inspired by purpose, you will walk in it. You will know yourself, you will grow yourself, and you will lead yourself into the future that God has prepared for you. Let's apply. Let's bring this into leadership application. As leaders, this message is not only personal, it is also organizational. A leader who does not know himself can damage people. A leader who does not know his weakness may become insecure. A leader who does not know his strength may underperform. A leader who does not know his passion may become mechanical. A leader who does not know his values may compromise. A leader who does not know his purpose may chase every trend. A leader who does not know his limits may burn out. So self-awareness is not a private luxury. It's a personal leadership responsibility. A self-aware leader is very, very critical. Self-awareness helps a leader to lead with humility. It helps a leader build the right team. It helps a leader delegate wisely. It helps a leader avoid comparison. It helps a leader to grow intentionally. It helps a leader to finish well. A self-aware leader does not pretend to be strong everywhere. He knows when to ask for help. He knows which people complement his weakness. He knows how to put people in the right places. He knows when pride is speaking. He knows when insecurity is loud. He knows himself. He becomes safer and stronger for others. So stop drifting. Stop postponing. I want to challenge every leader in the leadership room. Stop copying people blindly. Stop competing unnecessarily. Stop postponing your growth. Stop hiding behind titles. Stop blaming circumstances. Look inward. Reflect deeply. Grow intentionally. Act courageously. And pursue your assignment faithfully. Great leaders, hear me. You must know yourself to grow yourself. You must know where you are before you can move to where you want to go. You must know your passion before you can release your potential. You must know your purpose before you can live with fulfillment. You must know your strength before you can serve with excellence. You must know your weakness before you can grow in humility. You must know your values before you can lead with integrity. You must know your assignment before you can lead with impact. So I want to leave these questions for reflection for you as we cross. I want you to reflect on these questions. Number one, do I truly know myself, or am I simply living according to people's expectation? Question number two, what am I currently doing that gives me energy, joy, and a sense of purpose? Number three, what am I doing that drains me, distracts me, or take me away from my assignment? Number four, What are my strongest gifts, abilities, and areas of grace? Number 5, what weaknesses must I honestly acknowledge and intentionally address? Number 6, what would I really like to do with my life, my leadership, my ministry, my career, my business? Question number 7, can I realistically do what I desire to do? What preparation do I need? Question number 8, why do I want to do what I want to do? Is my motive service, significance, obedience, impact, or am I just looking for recognition? Number 9, who is already doing what I desire to do with excellence, and how can I learn from them? And we talked about mentors. Number 10, what price must I pay to become the person I was created to become? I like the way John Maxwell puts this across. He says, dreams are free. That is why everybody signs up. It is a price that separates people. Question number 11, what is one step that I can take this week toward my purpose? What is that one step that I can take? Number 12, what must I stop postponing? Number 13, who can hold me accountable for my next level of growth? Number 14, what kind of people am I attracting by the person I am becoming? Finally, if I continue living the way I am living now, where will I be 5 years from today? That is where I leave you tonight. In my final word is this: know yourself, grow yourself, lead yourself. Don't just be inspired, be awakened. Don't just admire growth, commit to growth. Don't just talk about purpose. Don't just dream about change, begin change. The leader you become tomorrow is determined by the growth you embrace today. And remember this final word: you cannot grow what you do not know. You cannot change what you cannot confront. You cannot become what you will not pursue. And you cannot fulfill purpose by accident. So know yourself, grow yourself, lead yourself. Then you'll be better positioned to lead others. Thank you, and welcome to a life of intentional growth. For now, I leave you in the hands of Nairobi Pentecostal Bible College for the programs that they have this season for us. Welcome, NPBC. I want to introduce you to a very important opportunity. Is this the year when you are trusting and seeking God to be trained, to be empowered to serve God in your various ministry callings? Nairobi Pentecostal Bible College has created programs that will enable you to become more effective in your ministry. This year, the Diploma in Christian Ministry and the Diploma in Bible and Theology have been curated for you so that you can be trained and become better for ministry. We are offering half scholarship for all new applicants. And so follow the link below and speak to us and let us see how you can be trained and become better. Here at Nairobi Pentecostal Bible College, we exist to nurture your potential and build your character. God bless you.
Are you a church leader, ministry executive, or faith-based organization administrator looking to strengthen and sustain your ministerial impact? Join our resource mobilization for Christian ministries courses designed exclusively for executives and ministry leadership teams. Over 6 powerful weeks, you'll gain practical skills in resource management, assessment and mapping, resource mobilization strategies, overcoming challenges, sustainability measures, and proposal writing for donor funding. This training is designed to equip Christian leaders with effective tools for ministry growth, sustainability, and greater kingdom impact. Starting on 15 June, register with us today with only an investment fee of only 2,000 Kenya shillings per session. Book with us or register yourselves on the numbers below.